strong.
Hi, and welcome to Funny Minds. I'm your host, Lynn B., and my co-host is with me.
Edward Biss, how are you?
And
Hey, good. How are you?
hi, today we have on, well, he's a Californian that ran from Florida out to California. He's an actor. He's a singer. He plays a couple of instruments. He's been in so many TV and movies, and I was really especially excited about the Pet Detective because I absolutely love that guy. He's crazy. Ray Buffer. Ray Buffer's with us, and he loves to be Santa Claus. And look at him; he looks like Santa Claus. And I've been naughty, Ray, so I better get a lot of gifts.
Have you?
A little bit.
Well, you've got a few days to turn things around there, so you know.
I refuse. I absolutely refuse. I'm not doing it. I want my gifts. How are you today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Getting over the storms. A lot of people. I'm in Jersey, and Ed's in Florida, so you guys have something in common. But a lot of people got flooded out, so we really pour our hearts out to the people who are suffering today and lost a lot with this storm. I don't know. You guys didn't get affected by anything.
In California, no.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some rains coming in. I've seen some reports, but California, they overreact to rain all the time. It's like, what is this water from the sky? What does it mean?
Putting a damper on my party.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, California's got the earthquakes, it's got the mudslides, it's got the fires. I mean, it's got beautiful weather.
You got enough going on out there.
And when you're in your field, I'm sure California is probably the best place to be.
It is. It is. I mean, they have a plan for everything. The filming will go on one way or the other. What part of Florida are you from?
I'm in Tampa.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm in Tampa.
Yeah, I was born in West Palm, and
My wife was born in West Palm.
Oh yeah, I spent 5 years in Orlando before I moved out here in '99.
So yeah, you did work for Disney, and you played Santa at Disney, and you went Santa.
And that was 20 years ago. So I mean, I was playing Santa in my 20s for Disney, but I'm a big husky guy, so I mean, back then I wore appliances. Now I just grow my beard and bleach it out and bleach my hair. More natural Santa now that I'm in my 50s. But yeah, it's a gig. It works. I do a lot of TV and film as Santa, and then I do a handful of public appearances as Santa now.
Mm-hmm.
So keeps me busy, and it's nice to kind of diversify. So one day I might be doing some Santa work. Next day I might be playing a biker in a film, and then the next day I might be singing at a church or doing some caroling or something this time of year. So it's nice to have that balance, the ping pong from one thing to the other.
Yes,
Keep it fresh to the best you can.
So
Where in LA are you?
I'm in Long Beach, which is far enough from LA, but close enough as well. So it's right on the cusp of Orange County and LA County.
Oh, Orange County. Do you watch The Housewives? Did you ever run into them? No.
I have of the Housewives, but I've not run into them. No.
If you live in LA, you're gonna run into a little bit of everybody. It just is what it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, just doing my Santa gig the other day, I was surprised to see what is his name, D Snyder.
Yeah.
Lead singer of Twisted Sister.
He's
there.
a Long Island boy.
He was there at Long Beach Shoreline Village with his entire family and his newborn grandchild. So I did a Santa photo with his grandchild, and of course I asked him for a photo with him.
Yeah,
so very cool.
absolutely.
Very cool guy.
He is
a really
family.
cool guy.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy. He's a Long Island guy. He's a family guy. Don't let his appearance and his past fool you. He's a really good person, but he is a family man. He's happily married. I mean, he's held on to that forever, and he is a super cool guy. But
Yeah.
tell me, I always was curious about this, and I have some friends who've been in acting and done some stuff. But what was it like for you, Ray, when obviously it's exciting for you to break out away from Florida and get out to LA and give it a go. What was it like for you the first time that you were on an actual lot, like Universal or one of the bigger lots, and you got to feel for
it was a cool experience. I mean, to actually be in the area that most guests, that visit a theme park or something don't get to see, because a lot of those, like Universal Studios, they're a theme park on the outside, but then behind the scenes they're a film studio. So yeah, I mean, I felt like I was on an inside track or something, like I was getting to see like the hidden side of things. But it's a little deceiving, because sometimes you can feel like, hey, I've got some momentum, things are taking off. I got to do this today, I got to do that today, things are looking up. And then as soon as you think that, things don't evolve, and then you're just kind of like back doing something else that you don't really want to do. So
and you don't have quite the paycheck for a little while.
Right, it's an up or down flow, and you can't count your chickens before they hatch. You definitely have to. You really have to wait for the contract and celebrate after you've done the work, not before you've done the work.
Okay.
Because anything and everything can happen out here. Projects get canceled or suspended or rearranged,
or just shelved,
or recast, or shelved. Yeah,
shelved. Yeah.
So just really can't count your chickens. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, it was great. I had a good opportunity as a background actor when I first moved out here to actually get the lay of the land and learn how to just navigate California, because back then we had Thomas guides. Remember those?
Nah.
Thomas guides were the spiral maps.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Before navigation devices, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, and it's funny how back then, everyone was hands up in the air, keeping a map in your car, and you're looking at it while you drive, you're going to have an accident. And then of course, then we get the navigation devices, and people are like, oh, well, you can't possibly navigate on a device. You're going to get an accident,
Now you got to use your fingers while you're driving.
Yeah, I mean, before that, I was turned around in my back for a map with the steering wheel driving the opposite direction. So it's like, hey, I think it's an improvement, right?
It's a big improvement, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I got the lay of the land back in my 20s or in my early 30s when I moved here, and I think that helped, because I didn't want to join SAG right away when I moved out here.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be a professional actor showing up late, because I got Marigold Lane confused with Marigold Drive, So I wanted to get know the lay of the land, show up to places on time first, and then join. So I was a member of Equity, which is the theater union.
Yes.
When I was in Florida. And so there was a sister union clause that allowed me at any time to just decide, hey, I'm going to join SAG because I'm already a member of a sister union. So I just waited several months till I got used to California, and then I joined the union at that.
Well, that's cool, because at least you knew you could roll into it when you were ready.
Yeah.
You're not starting the fight. You're already there. You could just pull the trigger when you want.
Yeah, a lot of actors are in that where they have to collect vouchers, or they have to ask an AD on set, hey, can you give me a union voucher today instead of a non-union, and try to collect three or more vouchers.
Yeah, I met somebody that said they had to have so many credits before they could be considered for like a higher part or something like that. I really didn't understand what they were saying. Just a personal person that not somebody on a podcast.
I think it's good that the unions have those rules. I mean, like with Equity, I was an EMC candidate in Florida. So what that meant was every week that I worked in Equity Theater, I got 1 point. And once you got 52 points, then you could join Actors Equity. So that was a way of developing a professional, right?
Okay.
You're getting credits in professional theater up to a certain point, and then you kind of graduate, right? Same thing with the film industry out here. They require non-union people to try to get union vouchers, which means that they've probably been around a set many, many more times than 3 to get those vouchers. And there's some right? So
Yeah.
it's a long process for them. For me, I was actually a must join, because I had joined the union, had a few gigs, and then decided, well, things aren't taking off. So then I resigned from the union, and then I rejoined the union just before the pandemic and paid my initiation fee again, because I had some commercials come up that were union commercials, and they saw that I was a previous SAG member and that I was what they call a must join. So what that meant was the producers were being told by the union, you have to get him to join the union before you can hire him with that contract. So yeah, I had to bite the bullet and pay again to join the union. But from that point on, before the pandemic until now, I've been working pretty steadily. So it's worked out.
That must have been really tough for going through the pandemic at that point.
A lot of people did have trouble, but for some reason, maybe right place, right time, I was working constantly through the pandemic.
Oh, really?
In fact,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
fantastic.
fantastic.
One of the Santa gigs I did during the pandemic was for Yankee Candle.
Yeah.
They did an online, it was like a webcam for Santa Claus.
Okay.
Because they realized kids couldn't go sit on Santa's lap during the
Right.
pandemic.
Right.
So instead,
Right.
they could go online at any time and see and spy on Santa. So what we did was
Oh, cute.
we filmed like 20, 25 hours of Santa just sleeping in a chair or reading a book or sipping cocoa or walking around his workshop and putting toys together. And they looped it together in such a way that a kid could go on and say, oh, it's 3 a.m. Santa's sitting in his chair snoozing, Oh, I'll watch that for 19 minutes, But that was a very cool thing. That was a way
It is cool.
a Yankee Candle brought Santa to kids. And then, if you recall, Yankee Candle was the litmus test for COVID, because at that time, I remember the executives there talking about all the letters they were getting from angry candle buyers who were saying, I just got my cinnamon candle and it doesn't smell like anything. I can't smell it at all. I want to and that was because they had COVID.
They had
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's funny. You don't really think about that, but that's good for you. At least you were able to maintain, with everything. I was full-time music, so I was completely shut down, which is always tough, but it's good for you to stay busy. But how did you get your start down here in Florida? I mean, obviously you didn't start with Disney, correct?
No. I mean, no, not really. I mean, I was 13 when I started, I guess, singing or performing professionally, and that was in Green Acres, Florida, which is a suburb of West Palm Beach. But I went to school there. I fell in love with musical theater at a young age, and that developed to a point where I was leaving. After school was over, I was going out into the community and working professionally, even in my teens. So whether it be singing at Bethesda by the Sea Church in Palm Beach, or not Long Beach, the Palm Beach Opera. They had a program, and I would sing in their chorus, and I would get experience. And as I got older, and when I went to school at FAU, I was an EMC candidate at Jan McCart's Royal Palm Dinner Theater in Boca Raton, which was part of Meisner Park there, big pink.
Oh, Meisner Park, yeah.
Yeah.
I've performed there at Meisner Park.
You played Meisner Park,
yeah.
And the place that is now a blues club there, I think it's called Risky Biscuit or something, Whiskey Biscuit or something like that. It used to be Jan McCart's Royal Palm Dinner Theater, and she did musicals year round for many years, and so that's where I started to get my equity points. And then when I moved to Orlando, I worked for Mark Howard's Mark II Dinner Theater, and also the theme parks there also had equity contracts. So I developed my membership into equity once I moved to Orlando as well. But yeah, at Epcot, I worked as a Canadian Santa, so it was kind of like a lumberjack look. saying "Joyeux," French Canadian "Joyeux Noël," eating chestnuts and telling
God,
stories about Nauyuks and Gaussuks and this mythology of Christmas that was unique to Canada. So it was a fun thing.
And they get a little upset if you don't show up drunk. Yeah, that's not authentic at that point.
I can't deny or confirm his allegations.
Hey, listen, you just got to be, authentic Canadian. You just got to stick with it.
We were just down at Disney, and unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but, years ago, it's the first time I've been there in probably about 12 years. Years ago, the characters were all over the place. Now, it's just, they're just not there. We didn't see Santa until he came in the parade because we had the tickets for Mickey's Christmas. And, it was a special thing. And other people, if you didn't have the ticket, you had to leave. And that's when you saw Santa. But he, I went into Canada in Epcot, and there was no characters in Epcot at all. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. By the Star Wars thing, there was some Star Wars character. They were dressed up like Star Wars. But other than that, Disney they would put stuff on in front of the castle, and they'd have shows and stuff. And then for Mickey's Christmas that night, they gave you a list, and certain characters were in certain places in the park, and that's where you could go to see them. But years ago, they would be walking all over. They would come up, they'd sign things, and you were talking to them and whatever, but it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably financial cutbacks combined.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Because out there in Florida, there's still equity, I believe, in Florida. Whereas out here in California, it's a variety artists union, AGVA, that regulates some of those performers. So,
oh really?
The unions have probably gotten more rigid as far as, well, our performers should only be out from this time to that time. This much of a break. If they're in a costume with a head on, they can only be working for this amount of time before they take it. So probably there's a lot more regulations. But then also Disney's gotten bigger too, because now they're Star Wars, like you said. They're also, I think, Marvel Comics heroes. Some of their parts.
Yeah, the Spidey stuff.
It's not just Cinderella and Snow White,
right?
Santa. It's all of these. It's a big encyclopedia of characters. So they probably have narrowed down their budgeting and also just made it more exclusive, where you have to actually seek out the characters that, I guess.
Yeah, we got to see, we went to Crystal Palace, and you see the Pooh characters, and, they were forever back then too. And Chef Mickey's Breakfast, you get to see the regular, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, But other than that, it was very scarce to see people.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It is. It is, because you're paying a lot of money. Your kids want to see these characters,
Well, that's what was nice, was that you didn't have to be rich. You didn't have to pay for the most exclusive package to have an experience that, that you'd remember for a lifetime.
Yeah, really.
They might be losing that. So,
yeah, now they're financially, they're crushing you. They're crushing.
Now, decades from now, little kids don't remember meeting Snow White, out in the wild. Then, it's their own fault, right?
What's your situation out in LA, Ray? Are you married, children, family, single and happy?
I'm divorced and happily partnered with a girlfriend for about 11 years. Living in Long Beach with her and our 2 dogs.
Nice.
And Franklin and Aretha.
Nice. I like that.
Franklin and Aretha.
Yeah.
What kind of dogs?
Franklin is a Cairn Terrier mix. We got him. The reason we called him Franklin was when we adopted him, we paid $100 rehoming fee to the person. Okay. So I paid a Franklin. Right. And then a couple years after we got him, we were walking him and discovered this mangy Shih Tzu that was just like homeless for at least a year. He'd been matted and flea ridden, and brought her home, shaved her down, took her to animal rescue. No one had claimed her as being lost. She wasn't shipped. So we adopted her, and she barks at everything, challenges everything, demands respect from everything.
Of
So
course she's a
Aretha,
woman.
Hey,
She's a
Aretha
woman.
seems like the natural name. So
Well-
Aretha and Franklin now. So
I think that works out great.
yeah.
Sounds to me
That's
like it's
cute.
meant to be.
Yeah, right.
I think so. And they're happy. They're like brother and sister. They're always playing. So it's
Well,
pretty
that's
cool.
good. So I looked at your repertoire of all the TV shows and the movies that you've had bit parts in, and you've got some diverse list of things that you've done over a lot of stuff that you've done. Did you get to meet like the main characters in some of these movies, or were you just on and off? And
Yeah, I mean, in some cases you're just on and off, but in most cases, yeah, I mean, I was rubbing elbows or at least saying hello to people on set.
uh-huh.
A lot of that early stuff was background work, and then you'll notice too, if you look at my IMDb, there's like a little chasm of time where I didn't work, and then all of a sudden, 2017, 18, 19, I start working again. So I took a bit of a break in terms of TV and film, and I actually produced and directed some theater locally in San Pedro and in Long Beach. So I kind of created diversity for myself too. Things were taking off from me in TV and film. I just went in a different direction.
And how well did that go for you? Were you satisfied with it? Yeah.
It went well until the economy changed around 2011, 2012. And then people didn't really support nonprofits as much because there was a financial change back then. So we kind of drizzled off from the San Pedro experiment. And then a couple of years later, I started a new experiment with a friend in Long Beach, and we created some theater for 3 or 4 years until the pandemic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I to get back to your question, yeah, I got to meet a lot of people.
Did you meet,
most recent? Go ahead.
Did you meet Jim Carrey when you were in Pet Detective?
Yeah, in fact, I met him twice.
Oh, I love
him.
I love him.
I met him in Pet Detective, and that was maybe I think his second big movie or something.
Right.
I remember there was a 19-year-old girl on set who was she was with hair and makeup. And I remember, and I don't even know if he was aware of this, but, he's a Joker, right? And, the scene where he's wearing the white undershirt and the pink tutu.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, at the insane asylum.
Yeah. So we're
one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I was just a background actor playing a doctor, so I just have a white lab coat and I'm walking through the asylum in various scenes. But I remember watching him film that scene, and in between shots, because it was Miami and it's very hot in Miami.
Yes, yeah.
And so he was sweating, and this girl in hair and makeup, her job was to mop his armpits between fights. And so he would just say, "Where's my armpit girl? Armpit girl, where's my armpit girl?" And she was just mortified. I mean, I could just see her tearing up. Oh, I've got to mop. And it's funny.
Now you got to put that on your resume too.
I felt bad for her, and and he was younger too, so maybe he wasn't sensitive to that. Because I know probably about 10 years later, when I moved to California, a backlot story at Universal Studios, I was on Almighty Bruce.
Oh, okay. That was
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And I got to see him, and it was kind of cool to compare, because where he was all joking and stuff with Ace Ventura, he was a little more refined and serious during Almighty Bruce. And yeah, he would crack a few jokes here and there, but he was just like handshaking everybody and being very courteous and professional to people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was just interesting to see how a person, evolves.
Yeah.
Here with these little glimpses of them in their career. So that was pretty cool.
So
that was the scene though, when he did the tutu scene, and I always said to people, because I always thought about the shooting the scene, for the actors and everybody involved, and you watch it and you say, how on earth did anybody You must have done at least 100 takes, probably more than 100 takes, because it probably took 70 of them to stop laughing to get through, enough to even try and salvage it.
That's true.
Because it was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh no, Liar had to be, to me, the funniest movie. Like, it was just like insane. Liar. But
then, I was in a pretty iconic scene in Almighty Bruce too. It was the scene at Niagara Falls where he's giving
the
weather broadcast.
Yes,
and where he's angry at the other actor, who's in the newsroom, and he's out in the rain. It's that scene. So yeah, I'm one of the people in the rain with him. But
I have to look for you.
But yeah, it was pretty cool to be part of that. And then what's interesting too is God, I can't think of his name now. Steve Odenkirk.
Oh, Odenkirk. Yes.
Who wrote some of Ace Ventura and directed the sequels. Mm-hmm. I met him just 3 years ago.
Steve and Bob, right? There's the brothers Steve and Bob.
No, they're not related.
They're not.
They're completely different people. But Steve Odenkirk is a writer primarily, but he was also in what was it, Kung Fu?
Kung
Pao or something like that.
Yes, to raise the fists. Raise
the fists. Right, that was the thing. And he does the Thumb Wars stuff now too with Star Wars, like thumb characters. But anyway, I met him 3 years ago or so, and his daughter was doing a film for her portfolio. So he actually was holding the camera, filming a short film with me and his daughter, and it was just really cool.
That's really neat. That's neat.
Like 20 years after Ace Ventura, to sit down to have a beer with Steve Odenkirk. I mean, that was just a really
that is cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
and he's done quite a bit. Obviously, I mean, he's done a lot. So, what do you have on the docket coming up?
Well, I mean, right now, you guys can check out a Screenshot to Santa, which is available, I think.
I saw that. I looked at it. Yes.
Tuba or Fubu or something. But
Fubu.
It's kind of like Home Alone, but it's like mostly African American cast, but with kind of the story of Home Alone, but in that vernacular. And so Santa comes to the rescue at the end of the movie. So that was kind of a cool thing to do, because I got to meet a lot of interesting actors and young actresses. What was really kind of, aged me a little bit was that one of the first films I was a background actor on when I moved out here was Like Mike. You remember the basketball movie Like Mike? It had little Bow Wow was in Like Mike, right?
Yep.
His daughter, Shay Moss, is in a Screenshot to Santa, around the same age that he was when I was in Like Mike as a background actor. So,
that must have made him feel aged.
Playing Santa to his daughter was kind of an interesting thing.
So you got to watch it come full. You watch it come full circle, and you're like, oh,
really? Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. That is phenomenal.
Just worked on that, and now.
So I also had a film that I shot, an action film in Seattle a couple months ago called Mask. It's directed by a Ukrainian director. We had almost all Ukrainian crews, so that was really interesting experience.
Wow!
Ate some amazing food.
Oh, I can imagine.
Learned a little bit of Russian, but not a lot. But had a wonderful experience. I got to, ride an ATV and shoot a crossbow and fire guns and run, flying rocks. And it was a cool change of pace for me, and playing a villain. But I play a lot of villains too, because I'm a big guy.
Hey, villains are fun.
Yeah,
Villains are fun. What was the
out in a couple of years? Hopefully we'll be seeing that.
What's the premise of the movie?
Premise is kind of a younger guy who's an actor. He kind of gets caught in a series of circumstances. He's trying to save someone, and in the course of saving that person, he gets in danger himself and gets deeper and deeper into the intrigue of the story. I can't give too much away.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say too much.
Yeah. but it'll be entertaining. And I think last I heard, Angel Studios was looking at maybe helping with it. They're kind of a religious, I guess, Christian network.
Okay.
But they produce some really wonderful things. I don't know if you've seen the Chosen at all. It's streaming on Netflix and other things, but they're responsible for the Chosen and some other really good series.
So
Okay.
they're getting their feet wet with some different projects. That's good.
Definitely get their feet wet. Yeah.
That's an
Okay.
interesting aspect of Hollywood that a lot of people don't talk too much about is the money.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot going on other than just studios. There's investors, there's you know, just
Well, there's so
conglomerates and think tanks and, you know, private groups that pull their money together to invest. And
Well, what's nice too is, we have crowdsourcing too. So, I mean, a lot of independent filmmakers can now do like a fund to me kind of a campaign where people donate money and they reach their goal and they get the $5,000 or $5 million, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
And then they start producing the film once they get the money, and it's nice to see those things succeed.
oh yeah, absolutely. And it's also on the flip side, you know, for people that have been super successful and do have a lot of money, could opt to use their own money to finance their own projects or something rather than be beholden to a studio. And
You see a lot of actors that are starting their own little, like production companies and stuff like that, and not necessarily to work in the production company themselves, but to fund for other people and stuff like
Well, I
that.
think they all have production companies, but I'm saying as far as
maybe,
money, like Mel Gibson will finance like his own movie because he has that money.
Yeah.
So when
And they also want creative control.
Control,
At that point of their career, they have an image and they know how they want to be portrayed, and they don't necessarily want maybe another producer or director regulating what their
What they
image
do.
is. Yeah. So that's kind of their way of also controlling an aspect of the filmmaking, which makes sense.
Yeah. If they have the money, why not?
Yeah.
You know, and then you get the lawyers involved.
It must be fun being a
Like,
lawyer.
no, not the lawyers. You have, are you represented, Ray, by an agency or?
I have a manager right now. She specializes in music, like musicians who also act. So, when they need like a guy playing a violin in a movie, they might go to her agency and find someone who plays violin and who's also an actor. So yeah, I get some work through her in that aspect, but also I get some like normal, like non-musical work as well through her. But to be honest with you, I've been very happy over the course of the last year just doing self-booking. I did have an agent last year, but I just wasn't completely thrilled with the results I was getting. So when we parted ways, I was not that disappointed.
Okay.
It gave me a chance to really just see what I could do on my own, and I've been pretty happy with the results. I do have a couple of people who want to explore partnering with me, and I've been putting them off because right now it's Christmas and I'm busy, and I wouldn't even have time for a new agent right now. So it come January, I'm going to reach back out to those people and see if our goals align. And and see and go from there. But every person you bring onto your team, that's another commission you got to pay.
Right.
And if I'm succeeding right now, just booking myself and having past people who I've worked for call me up and book me again, why
pay somebody? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, keep the overhead lower, keep more in your pocket.
Yeah.
And, you've been doing this long enough to where I'm sure you have plenty of contacts, full spectrum that probably approach you from now and again.
Yeah.
And if you keep yourself busy enough to where you're happy, anything else is gravy.
Yeah, I think the impetus of getting a new agent will be me wanting to go to a new level. So, wanting to get submitted for more guest starring roles in episodic or a series regular role or something like that. Though that would be kind of like the next tier for me, because right now I'm kind of an under five bit player, guest star kind of person, and that's another tier when you get to that tier. So, but right now I'm kind of happy where I'm at, and like I say, I like doing different things on different days. So,
right.
I think I'm going to keep at that for a little while still.
Okay.
I think they should really honestly do another, I would say, a Magic Mike 4, and then you could star in that. Let's change it up. Magic Ray. You just go dancing out in a Santa outfit.
I don't think I got the body for that. But thank you.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
So where can people find you, Ray?
People can find me at raybuffer.com. They can find me on Instagram at The Real Ray Buffer. Find me on YouTube. Just basically type Ray Buffer and you'll find something.
You'll find you.
You'll find something.
Actually, you have a lot of stuff online. I was reading an awful lot of stuff and looking at all your credits, and one site you can see, like if you hit on whatever it was you were in, it'll show the scene where you are in there, and which is pretty neat. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This way you're not killing yourself like trying to find you somewhere. You can just click on this and there you are,
Sure.
So that's how I happened to see the Christmas one. I clicked on that and I said, oh, this is interesting,
Right.
It don't show you the whole thing. You have to watch it, but you get a good glimpse of, what the story is all about.
Yeah, I use my TikTok, I think, for a lot of those trailers too. So yeah, on TikTok, I believe I'm also The Real Ray Buffer on TikTok. And you can see like samples of things there as well.
Yeah.
Well, even on the .com, I'm sure you have, a section.
Yeah. I don't maintain it as well as I should. I probably should update it, but yeah, the .com is there as well.
Mm-hmm.
This way you get it all, archived, I should say.
Yeah, really.
I'm actually on my way now after I leave you to go do a reprise of, a commercial I did last year for Jacob Emrani. He's a big attorney out here in California, called Jacob. And he's doing a thing at LA Live today. We're going to be handing out some gifts to children and making some doing a photo appearance kind of thing. But
nice.
Wait.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
So very shortly, I'll be putting on the Santa outfit and I'll be at LA Live.
Awesome.
So.
I thought you were going to be on your Santa outfit for us.
Oh, today you thought?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had actually I rebleached last night. Just to,
You'll be all
so
ready.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, it's been a pleasure to talk to you and to listen to what your career, everything that you've done and where it's brought you to. And we're going to keep an eye on you. We'll be watching what you're doing, just so that we can say, like, oh, look at what Ray's doing now. Or we talk to other people and say, oh, that we met somebody, we had this person on our show. They would be great for you, whatever, but,
yeah.
It's always good. One way or another, there's always a way that people get something out of being on the show or being with people or, and it's important to us, so, I mean, our genre is very eclectic. So, we talk to all kinds of people and you're very interesting. I thought you were a very interesting read when I saw it. So I wish you the best. And, I hope everything works out for you. And after the new year, I hope you go into a lot of other things. And I can say, well, I had that guy on my show.
There you go. I hope that's
I know. That would be great. So
it was great talking to you guys.
This is
Absolutely, Ray.
Funny Minds. And if you go online, and go to funnyminds.com, you'll see we have a store. Also, we have two organizations that we're very involved in, and that's St. Jude's Children's Hospital and Women's Breast Cancer. So there's a big purple button, and it's Christmas time, and we're hoping that people would be kind enough to donate to these two organizations. It's very important. And we're very happy that we could be with you today, Ray, and we wish you the best. And, we're very excited for you. And go give out your gifts and make those kids really happy, And I'm like, oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, is right.
Yeah.
All right. So,
righty then.
All righty then.
Yeah, all righty then.
Everybody out there, be happy, be healthy, be kind, non-judgmental, and laugh, because we all know that laughter is the best medicine. So bye-bye now. Happy holidays.
Ray, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We really
Happy
appreciate
New
it.
Year.
Be well. Have a good
Thank
one.
you, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.